In this video, we're going to focus on how we can adjust in the tooltip the label, in the header, in the body label, and of course in the footer. Let's start to look how to do this. So to do this, the first thing what we need to have is our boiler template. In this case, you can find it in chartjs3.com getting started. This specific link here, once you're on here, just scroll down and copy this chunk of code and you're good to go. Next, if you want to get the source code of this video and many others, check out my Patreon page. And of course, got a question, put it on Discord. So all these links are in the description box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just customize a little bit of the data here. So we're going to just break this down because that was very specifically the question. It's like, for example, there's an X. Let's make that Monday. And then we have a Y value, and the Y value will be 18. And then we have a custom text. Let's call it text and say label 1. I'm going to hide these labels here. We don't need that anymore because we're going to use this label here, basically the X and Y. So I'm going to copy this, 1, 2, 3. That's more than enough. Tuesday, and then here Wednesday. And this could be anything. I saw the question was related to a date, but it doesn't really matter. It could be anything. So I'll say here, label 1, 2, and 3. Let's save that. Refresh. There we are. So we have this here. You can see Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., etc. So what I would like to do now is to want to put the label 1 in my tooltip. And where exactly depends. And I'm going to show you 3 options where you can put it in. I'm going to scroll down here. Then what I'm going to do here, after the scale, say comma, we say plugins. And then within the plugins here, I'm going to pinpoint the tooltip plugin. And then in here, Chart.js has callback functionalities for the tooltip, which are called callbacks with an S. Very important, with an S. So what we could do is this. We could put it in the title. We can put it here in the body label. Or we can put it in the footer. So in this case, we have these items, and I'm going to put them in all 3 items. So you can select which one you would need. The first one would be the title here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say ctx, comma, index. So we get these items and make sure that this callback function has double parentheses. And then in here, I would like to show you here the ctx, save, refresh. Open up the console log, and the moment I hover, you will see we get the data. So let's refresh. If I hover on this one, we should get only the data related to Monday. And in this case, you can see all the data here. So what I would like to do here in the title, I want to show Monday, and then I want to add up additional text of specifically the text here, label 1. So let's start to look how we can do this. The first thing what we need to do is here is say return. And what I would like to do is I want to extract the Monday. The Monday is here, index 0, label month, or raw x month. It's whatever you want. I'm going to just get the label here. So I say here ctx index 0 dot month or label. Then we should get this. So let's see if there's any changes. As you can see here, there's no change. Now what I would like to do is I want to add up the next item. So to do that, let's open up here. How do we get this? We can say here raw and then text. So what I'm going to do here, index 0 dot, and if I'm not mistaken, raw, and then dot text. If I save this, refresh, you can see here label 1, 2, 3. It recognizes our hover effect. So what I can do here, I'll just say a constant text equals this. Very straightforward. Then I'm going to grab this, and we could say here, I guess here plus, and then this item here. If I do this, I'm not sure what we're going to get. Monday label together. So you could have here, maybe you could do here plus, another plus, like that, space. There we are. Let's do a more appropriate way. Let's do template literal. So backtick, $, this is just more professional. And then we just remove all of these. And let's say here, this is also a variable, so that should be a $sign as well, covered in that. And then we could say here, for example, this, save, Monday label 1. So what would happen if you would like to put Monday up, but the label at the bottom, or at least a row below? For that, because this is not possible by default, because we cannot use a break, what we can do here is we just make an array out of it, and then it will understand it. So we can just grab all of this, put in there, then we say comma, and just add the text in here. Save, refresh. Oh, hold on, number 99. As you can see here, this of course is not allowed. You have to remove all these parentheses or these curly braces. There we are. Monday, and then the next line, label 1. Alright, so next what we want to do is we want to do it on the label itself. Basically the label is a part of the body. Right? So there's the color box and we have the label. And the label is this part here. So what I want to do now in the label, I want to just put in the data. Very similar. We're going to do the almost similar structure with some tiny differences. Or yeah, I think hardly any here. Anyway, what we're going to do here, console log, but let's see if we can get the same details here. CTX, refresh. Now, we're on the label as CTX, so we get the data here. Structure is slightly different, but if you look at it, it's quite similar. Raw is here, we have the parse, the label, we have all of these items in here. And let's see how's the structure. It's weekly sales, colon 18. So the weekly sales is basically the title of the data set, which is the dataset label. We can find that in here. So let's get that one. So we're going to say here, well, we can say return. And what I want to do here then is again a backtick. And we're going to say ctx dot, let's see, how do we get there? Data set specifically, and then label. Data set dot label, and we have to make sure that this, because it's template literals, $, curly braces, and then here as well, save that, refresh. So now we get the value, but we should have a colon and the value of the item. So colon can be done here. What about the number 18 or whatever we have? So let's start to look how we get that. So you can see here, we get this data index or data set index. So you can see here, we get the information already. And all we need is the data index. We can just get the data index and get the value, or I realize we just get it in here, the raw y or the parse y. It's one or the other, doesn't really matter. In this case, I'll just get the parse y. So you're going to say here, parse or ctx.parse.y. Save, refresh. And now we should have the original, alright, and then we can just add that up in here. So if we would like to add it up here, we can do a comma, for example, and get the raw text. Let's see if we get the raw text here, raw text. Alright, so just very straightforward process. Put it in there, $sign here, we have to, or semicolon, and then we have to put in here, to make it a variable, so like that. And let's see, we cannot read raw. Alright, we have to just check what is going on here with our value. ctx.raw, I thought we had that working. Alright, and then I realized the raw is not a index 0. It's just raw. It's just straightforward raw. Save, refresh. There we are. Now we've got that. If you want it again, convert it into an array. We could do it like this. Make this array. Make this an array. Here, this here could be backtick. Then we have a comma. So basically this is all together because we have here this concatenation. So we just put it like that. Then what we can do here, this one, I guess we don't have to even do this because we just want to have the text here. Like that. And this will be then on the next line. However, you can see here, because of the color box, it will assign that white space there. So consider that. Finally, let's do the footer version. So we have all options. There's more options, but these are the most common one. And if you want to know more, I have another video for that. So then what I want to do here, we can do this and just get again the console log. And let's see, let's remove this. And then let's look here, what does this console log or CTX gives us? Alright, so when I hover over it, you can see here, structure is slightly different, but again, quite identical. Raw, text, index number, there we are. And then this is based on index 0. So that's very important. So if we would like to get then the raw text, so how do we get there? We have to go to CTX 0, the index 0, and then we go to raw. So .raw.text, save, refresh. If I hover over it, there we are. Alright, let's put it in the footer. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say here return, and then return the value here. Put that in there, save that, refresh. And there we are. So now we have all three options in the title, in the label area of the body, and the footer.